for Pakistan, but you can understand the urge to get off strike.
It is quite funny to see when one batsman to get off strike and the other batsman is desperately not to get down there.
Who was the bowler in your career that you most wanted to get away from when you were down there facing as Mitchell Starc? We'll come back to that. Mitchell Starc striding in, Sarfraz waiting for him, and letting a high bouncer go well over his head.
There was a number of bowlers I wanted to get away from. The two that stand out the most are probably at different ends of the spectrum, but Dale Steyn was one from South Africa. He was just brutal, and it started with the eyes. He had these eyes as he's running into bowl, like he wanted to kill you. Yeah,
the veins popping out of his neck and all the rest of it.
Yeah, and he was very skillful as well, with wrist position, good pace, playing in some of those South African pitches where there was a little bit of seam movement as well. Yeah, it was pretty ugly to face.
Mitchell Starc, top of his mark, nameless northern stand end. In again, Sarfraz, short at the hip, jagged away to that leg gully position on the bounce. They'll get through for a single as the ball is spilled by Shaun Marsh. 243 for 7, Sarfraz 91.
And the other bowler that I was desperate to get away from was Murali from Sri Lanka.
Of course.
And again, it started with the eyes. He had these huge eyes looking at you as he's running into bowl, and then the ball would come out of the hand, and quite often you had no idea which way it was spinning, so that was quite scary in itself. Thirdly, you could hear the revs on the ball as it's coming down. It's like as it's coming down, and then there's normally about 4 or 5 chirpy Sri Lankans around the back chirping away as well. So yeah, he wasn't much fun facing Murali.
Sort of feel like a moth pinned to a cork board or something when he's working you over at the crease.
You just had no escape, and you didn't know where your next run was coming from. And I must admit, there were some balls that came out that I thought were Doosra that spun, sharply as an off spinner, and you're playing literally a foot and a half away from the line of the ball, and I'm sure the commentators were saying, what game is this guy playing, He could make you look really silly at times.
It must be a real process of having to just try to put your ego out of it and not worry about what you look like and just be prepared to bat ugly and survive.
Well, or you could use the Adam Gilchrist theory. So Adam Gilchrist's theory was if he picked the ball, he would defend it. If he didn't pick it, he'd just try and slog sweep it to 6. And he hit Murali for more sixes than anyone around the world.
Marnus Labuschagne continuing, meeting a sweep from Sarfraz Ahmed, and he's going to walk a single. Eventually breaks into a reluctant jog. As John Holland out there in the deep throws the ball back in. 244 for 7. Sarfraz on to 92.
But isn't that amazing? So every 6 that Gilchrist hit off Murali, it's because he didn't pick the ball. But he just had such a great eye and a great swing, the left-hander's swing over mid-wicket, and I think Murali must have been thinking at the other end, oh gosh, where do I bowl to this Adam Gilchrist fellow?
So it didn't matter which way it was turning in the end, he'd smack it anyway. Labuschagne gets it very full in the block hole, and Yasir digs it out for mid-on. It's fascinating, those contrasts. It always stood out watching Murali bowl, just the way his eyes would light up like street lamps. Amazing character. There was a bit of his wrist in Bilal Asif, we thought, in Dubai, the way he rips the ball out with his off breaks with the wrist as Yasir gets a single, works it well off the toes out towards square leg. 245 for 7.
No, you're exactly right. I thought the same. Very flexible wrist. But the other thing about Murali was, having played IPL with him and getting to know him as a person, he was such an insecure player as well. Right. He wanted the field back to protect his figures, and he was worried about getting hit for runs.
Labuschagne, full, drawing a thick outside edge from Sarfraz into the covers, won't get a single.
I remember playing a couple of IPL games, and number 9 would come in and the pitch is turning and we'd have them in all kinds of trouble and say, Murali, bring mid-off up, bring mid-on up, bring this guy up. He's like, no, leave them back. He can hit. Thinking, mate, he's not going to hit anything off you.
Outside edge, but safe from Sarfraz as he had a drive. It's running down towards third man. Starc going back after it, tired after his over. They want the third, but eventually, half of the batting pair wanted the third, but they almost fixed themselves up. A couple of runs added. Sarfraz isn't happy with the miscommunication with the running with Yasir. 247 for 7. Sarfraz 94. Keeps the strike. It was Yasir who wanted to get back for that third run.
He looks really tired here, Sarfraz. It was a tired shot, tired running between the wickets. Good delivery though from Labuschagne. Just doing enough. Sarfraz reaching for the ball, getting a thick outside edge, but it just went past first slip.
Just looking to play it to the onside, wasn't he? And got that thick edge. If they'd had a gully in, it would have been a snaffle. Instead, they've got a backward point, really. Labuschagne gets a big slog from Sarfraz up in the air. This should be taken down at mid-off, and it is almost dropped, but held. And just the sigh of relief down there. It's skied way up in the air, and Marnus Labuschagne has his 3rd wicket. He's got 3 for 30, and he is absolutely doing a job for Australia with the ball today. He's been key to their chances with Nathan Lyon after the 4 wickets that Lyon took early, and that was a very tired shot indeed. It was loop, backed away outside, leg stump, Sarfraz, big thwack, big outside, leading edge, way up in the air. And Peter Siddle was under the ball, who nearly spilled it. It hit the heels of his hands, bobbled up, hit him on the chest, and he managed to clasp it again in the fingertips. No, it's hit him in the face on the 2nd rebound, and he's managed to grab it on the 3rd rebound in the fingertips. So he's falconed himself into the bargain.
Unbelievable that. Dropped initially, somehow managed just to catch the end of the fingers onto the nose, and then had the presence of mind to hold on to the catch. It was a tired shot from Sarfraz Ahmed. Wanted to bring up the 100 with a big one, a big 6, but yeah, it was a poor shot in the end, and he looks desperately disappointed not to score 100, and Pakistan have lost their 8th wicket now for 247.
That's a performing seal trick if you can balance it on the end of your nose, run around in a circle, catch an ice cream or something, and then finally complete the catch. He's done well, Peter Seal, down there at mid-off. 247 for 8 is the score, 73 overs gone. Speaking of marine activities, Budgie Smuggler make great swimwear. They're sponsoring the 3rd session. I'm going to leave Mike Hussey to clean up my mess, and Adam Collins will join him shortly.
Well, I don't know where to go after that. Far out. No, well, Australia will be delighted with that wicket, no question. Marnus Labuschagne, what a day he's having. Took a superb catch to start the day, put a simple catch down, and now has picked up 3 wickets, and 3 big wickets too. So it's put Australia into a very strong position in this game. They just need the 2 now to bowl out Pakistan. And Sarfraz Ahmed, what an innings he played. Out for 94. He'll be so disappointed with himself, but he looked extremely tired by the end of the day. But he should be proud because it was a great innings.
Putting my other hat on, often around this time of day, you're trying to work out what's your piece going to be about. What's your colour piece in the paper going to read like the next day? I think most of our colleagues would have had half a piece written about Nathan Lyon. 4 wickets in the space of about 5 minutes in the first session. They would have got, right, we're dealt with today, you little beauty. By about 11:30 they were all set. Now they're quickly thinking, gee, might have missed a trick here. And we might be writing about young Marnus Labuschagne, because he is the story of the day suddenly. Pakistan 247 for 8. That shot from Sarfraz, UGLY. He ain't got no alibi, as a terrible pop lyric read in the late 1990s. As I bid farewell to Mike Hussey for the final time today. Thank you, Mike. It's been a lot of fun. We'll catch you tomorrow. And I welcome back his former West Australian teammate, former international fast bowler, Brendan Julian. BJ, what doing with Sarfraz's shot there? So close to a ton.
But, well, the thing with it, right, is that's what happens when you bring the field up. And I think the Australians have been too quick to push the field back. At one stage they've had 4 out, 5 out for both bats. In that middle session of play, when they were going, you've got to create pressure somehow. And then, all of a sudden, Sarfraz, he was a 94 around that, they brought the field up. You know,
at last.
And exactly, and at last.
Yeah. But it's been part of the series, hasn't it? Both captains have been very keen to protect the boundary from very early in the innings. It's been a theme. First innings, second innings. We've rarely seen a situation where they have been willing to bring the field up. A few more patrons in today, Brendan. A few of your fans meet us here.
Yeah, met him out in the golf course because I was out in the bush looking for a lot of my golf balls, so bumped into a few of them.
So 247 for 8. Mitchell Marsh will start his 6th over. He only bowled 1 over before the tea break. It was a quick one, and he was right on the money. It was a maiden, so I'm not surprised to see him brought back in an effort to knock over the final couple of Pakistan wickets here. On his approach to Yasir Shah, he bowls with a slip and a gully. Yasir defending into the onside, no run.
Well, I was surprised. I thought Starkey would at least give him one more now that Yasir Shah's on strike, and also now he's coming in with a number 10. Yeah, he struggled a bit, I think, Mitch Stark today, but I would have given him the opportunity. Just the sight of the big guy at 6'6" coming in, left arm over. He's already pinned 2 of the Pakistan batsmen. I reckon the tail aren't going to get in behind us, so I'm surprised at that. And then I was thinking it would be Nathan Lyon. I think the medium pace sort of thing hasn't been too difficult.
Mohamed Abbas facing up, yet to score, defending. Adds a backward point, no score. We know Mohamed Abbas was used as night watchman last week, but traditionally a bit of an old-fashioned number 11. So on that basis, I'm going to take a punt that the man on debut, Mir Hamza, hasn't got much of a clue with the bat.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. If you've got a big quick up the other end, if he comes in. But I think the talk has been certainly Labuschagne.
He's taken 4 wickets at 16 at test level. By contrast, he's got 12 wickets at 59 at first class level. So make what you will of that. Here comes Mitchell Marsh, a slip in the gully as catches, bowls here, Mohamed Abbas, getting in behind it, knocking it out to mid-on, no run.
Well, it's great numbers, isn't it? I mean, he's a really good option as a part-time bowler.
Are we allowed to say part-time anymore? I feel as though watching him bowl today...
He's beaten the bat probably more than John Holland.
Sure. I mean, the amount of, as they say, revs he's getting on it, most of it's overspin, granted, but he does enough away from the right-hander.
Well, he's landing them in the right area.
Yeah.
It's just his referrals have just been horrible, though.
Yeah, that's one thing to work on for young Marnus, as Mitchell Marsh bowls here. Abbas again, solid in defence, out to cover. Yeah, so no more part-time tag, and we speculated before BJ that we might have to... It could be the reverse Smith going on here. Smith picked as a spinner who batted as low as number 9 in his first series, and obviously went on to become what he's become with the bat. And Labuschagne, top 6. I mean, let's not judge him when he's batting quite yet, but looks to have the skills to pay the bills with the ball.
It gives you an option, I think. You know, if there was another Test match in UAE, you could nearly pack it with another batsman or think Ashton Agar more of a bat. You know, you could pack it with another batsman and you make it up with him. And another part-time bowler.
Marsh goes again, Abbas leaving outside the off stump. I should update that, by the way. 5 wickets at 13.6 after the last one, Labuschagne. Very useful start to his Test career with the ball, at least.
Landing them nicely as well. And I think it's because he puts a lot of revs on and puts a lot of pace on the ball, the bad deliveries aren't as bad. If they're loopy little spinners and they're short and they're not really getting anything off the track, then you get in a bit of trouble. But because he pushes it through so quickly, there's less room for error if he doesn't quite get it right. And he rips it. That's the big thing with it. He turns it.
Last ball of the Marsh set. Bowls here. Abbas, high on the blade, defending to cover. Another maiden for Marsh. 2:47 for 8 the score. Yes, here on 12. Abbas yet to get off the mark.
I think that's too easy for the batsman, to face. I mean, I'd rather see Mitch Starcon or Nathan Lyon. I just think Mitch Marsh, soft ball. I didn't think the number 10 there had any problem facing that. He was bowling length. He wasn't bowling a bouncer in a York. He was just bowling length. I think this is, even though it's 2 wickets to get, Tim Paine's got to make sure that he puts the screws on, keeps it on. I don't want this little to meander for another 20 or 30 runs.
But that's been the beauty of the post-tee session, really, isn't it? That wicket on the cusp of tee and... the couple since, like they haven't been able to...
I think it's because they've been building pressure.
Yeah.
Keeping the field up and bowling to a field and saying, right, bowl tight, let's just keep it nice and tight, build the pressure on each batsman.
So Labuschagne, he's bowled 9 overs, 2 maidens, 3 for 30. Very tidy. Bowls here to Yasir Shah on 12. Leg stump defended. Out behind point, no run. That quicker action, our producer Andrew Donaldson observed this during practice during the week, that the local spinners who've been bowling to the Australians in practice have these very whippy actions, the leg spinners, very whippy actions. Not too dissimilar to Labuschagne. He gets through the crease so quickly. Bowling here, on the back foot, Yasir, down to mid-off, no run.
Well, I think over here also you get slow pitches, so you've got to push it through quick. I think probably Holland's fraction too slow, because what it does is it allows the batsman to react off a one that's quite short or one that's not quite there. You can play it back.
Labuschagne, there's the short ball, pulled through mid-wicket. Has he found the gap? Yasir Shah has. So he moves to 16, and in the process, Pakistan raised their 250. 251 for 8, halfway through the 75th over. Yasir is 16. Abbas yet to score, but Australia still well and truly on for knocking over the hosts inside a day, well short of 300.
Yeah, and don't forget, Pakistan won the toss, elected to bat first, and yes, you had them 5 for 77, and you look back and you go, 8 for 250 odd, really? Have we sort of got that right? But it doesn't matter.
Labuschagne bowls across the line, goes Yasir, but in the end, he squares up his shot and goes long and straight. He was looking towards Cow, and he adjusted his stroke and absolutely clobbered that Over, long off, almost extra cover for 6. He moves to 22. Pakistan 257 for 8. Excellent batting, good adjustment.
Well, you look, at this stage of the game, you don't mind the field back because what it does, if they get a single, it brings a Bass on strike. So, you could say, look, mate, mid-off, mate, no problem. At this stage of the game.
How will Labuschagne bounce back here? Oh, he beats him. Not the first time he's beat Yasir Shah, indeed, maybe the 7th or 8th time outside that off stump. They're not far away. Good response from the young all-rounder.
Yeah, gee, that's a big call, young all-rounder.
I'm being a fraction facetious, but the point I'm trying to make is he's not a part-timer. Labuschagne again. Fraction shorter. Yasir off the back foot. Nice shot. Finds the gap to the right of cover. They'll take a couple. So a productive over for the home side. They're 259 for 8. After 75 overs, Yasir Shah is 24. Abbas yet to score. There was 12 taken from Labuschagne then. This final session, of course, brought to you by Budgie Smuggler. Swimwear made with love in Australia. Thanks so much to Budgie Smuggler for being part of the Wisden.com team for this second test match.
Have they got boardies yet?
We were going to find out, weren't we?
Yeah.
We will, actually. I'll ask Andrew Donaldson to jump on the computer and find out what their board short range is. I know they've got the traditional smugglers, which a lot of the cricketers wear underneath their whites. They've got the underwear range. They've got I think it's called the smuglets for women. So
what do we call the boardies then?
Yeah, I'm not sure whether, by definition, boardies can't be smugglers, can they?
No.
But they are an Australian brand, Australian manufactured. And they do a lot of good work in the community. They support a lot of local artists, the Indigenous community as well. Fantastic brand. We're proud to be partnered with them on Wisden.com Test Match Cricket. Mitchell Marsh starting a new over from the northern end. He delivers here. Mohamed Abbas tucking this around the corner. Nice bit of batting there. He'll get off the mark with 1. And better still, he'll rotate the strike and get the more established man, Yasir Shah, back on strike. 259 for 8.
75 overs gone. New ball due and 80 over mark.
Yeah, I wonder whether I think they would. It's the sort of day they would take it, isn't it? Not a lot of reverse out there, is there?
I think I would take it. You don't necessarily have to go straight to the quicks. I'd even bowl it with Nathan Lyon taking the new ball. He'd get a bit more turn. We haven't seen Lyon for a while. He might come on Labuschagne's end.
He deserves a 5-foot line, really, for the work he did in that morning session. It's Mitch Marsh now, though. A slip in a gully, his catches. He delivers. Yasir pulling through mid-wicket. Has he got enough of it to get to the boundary? He does. Didn't get all of it.
No.
But that's another boundary for Yasir Shah, who is really opening up. He moves to 28. Pakistan, 264 for 8.
Yep, just annoying. This will be very annoying for Tim Payne. Yasir Shah, just the runs there. He's been attacking the bowling, and it's interesting point because Sarfaraz Ahmed, when he came out after lunch, he attacked the bowling as well. So when you're taking on the bowling, playing your shots, it seems to work in your favour.
I've got a good stat for you, BJ, after this Mitchell Marsh delivery.
Is that a budgie smuggler?
No, not quite a smuggler stat. Marsh here. Oh, bowls him! Well, there it is, the in-swinging Yorker. And that's the end of Yasir Shah. Just as he was getting busy and getting dangerous, there is the 9th wicket to fall. And that's a classic piece of fast bowling. Through the gate, leg stump, bent back. Thanks for coming. Pakistan, 264 for 9.
Relief for Tim Payne. Relief for Mitch Marsh as well. They'll be thinking it's just getting annoying. He's scoring freely. Yasir Shah, and then bang, you knock him over. So this is good work by the Australians. They've bounced back well. That middle session they struggled, but they got one on the stroke of tea, and then they've come out in the third session of play, and they've been spot on.
Yep, watching the replay back here. Talk us through it, BJ.
Well, it's just a good seam delivery. A little bit of maybe reverse angling in off the pad and clip leg stump. I reckon it did him for pace. I reckon his pace was around about 135, 136, and just caught him. And Yasir Shah just tried to flick that through the leg side, missed it completely. But it's a handy innings. 28 from 34 deliveries. It's a very, very handy innings. It's given Pakistan a bit of respectability. Yeah, a little bit of ballast after they lost that wicket just on the cusp of tea. 264 for 9. Yasir Shah making his way back down the race. This is appropriate, this stat, actually, because Mir Harms is walking out. We suggested he might not be much of a batsman, given that he's behind Mohamed Abbas. You don't see this very often. He's taken 278 first-class wickets, right? Fairly useful bowler. Yep. He's made 264 first-class runs. Okay.
You don't see many professionals who've got more wickets than runs. And Mir Hamza had an average of 7, which isn't much to speak of either.
Well, after the first innings, Labuschagne had more wickets than runs, didn't he?
True, but a body of work which extends to as big as Hamza's is at first-class level suggests that he's going to battle. He sidles up and faces up left-handed. So Mitchell Marsh, with 3 balls to come this over,
Yorker.
Is
right at the sticks.
Yorker or bouncer Yorker?
No, don't worry about the bouncer. Straight at the poles.
Can Mitchell Marsh finish the job for Australia and complete what's been a very good day's work for the visitors? A slip in the gully, the men back at fine leg and third man. He delivers to Hamza and beats him first ball.
Yep, just stick it there. Don't worry about anything else. I think you go Yorker. Don't worry about the bouncer. That's where it's got to be.
So Mitch Marsh in the book with his first wicket. 4 to line before lunch. 3 to Labuschagne, either side of T. 1 for Mitchell Starc to get them going. And Mitchell Marsh has the chance to finish it off here.
What do you think Yasser Shah would be thinking about the pitch? He was out there for, I don't know, about an hour and a half, wasn't he?
It's not going to help a lot early on. It might bounce a bit. Marsh on the way to Hamza, who defends. That's not so bad. Out to mid-wicket, no run. Who will bowl the next over? Labuschagne, or do you give it back to Lyon and Starc to...
No, I think you give it to Labuschagne at this stage. I mean, you know, one around the bat, one on the offside, one a short leg, a first slip. I think you get the field right in and put the pressure on. I think he's in a bit of a groove. Labuschagne, why start with a new bowler? At least give him 1, maybe 2. They're not going to go after him.
Mitchell Marsh running towards us from the northern end. Last ball of his over to Hamza. He pushes out the high point. He's off the mark in Test cricket. He keeps the strike as well, which might be a blessing in disguise for the Australians, as it were. The board ticks over to 265 for 9. Hamza's 1. Adam Collins, Brendan Julian, with you on the Wisdom.com Test Match Cricket Call for Budgie Smuggler in the final session. Swimwear made with love. And of course, throughout the series, our premier sponsor and major commercial partner, Specsavers, the test experts. When you wake up tomorrow morning, go and book yourself an eye test. They're the official eyewear and eye care partner of Cricket Australia.
And I reckon if you're coming to the UAE, you need sunglasses. I lost mine. Can you believe it? Oh, I was at the shopping mall walking around with AB because he likes to walk around shopping malls. I don't know what happened. Fell out of my pocket. Oh, can you believe it? Of all the places in the world, you need sunnies, don't you?
Yeah. I tell you what, when you get back to Sydney, Brendan, the first thing you should do is get down to Specsavers and nab yourself a pair of sunnies. I left mine at home in London, which did come from Specsavers, which is a massive mistake in this part of the world.
You need them over here.
Huge error in judgment.
Oh,
it is going to be Nathan Lyon. Well, they're going to give him the chance to finish the job that he started all those hours ago. I think that's quite reasonable.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. I mean, yeah, he deserves that opportunity, no doubt about that. And Labuschagne's probably a bit tired, dragging it down a bit.
So Lyon, slip and a short leg, bowling here to Hamza. It's full and defended. So just past 10:15 on the east coast of Australia now. People just tucking into bed. The good news is that Australia are right on top. They're on their way to knocking over Pakistan well inside a day.
So what do you think they're going to face the Australians? 10 overs?
Count that from here, I reckon.
Yeah.
Lyon here, delivers wide of the crease. Hamza catches the call, goes down towards mid-on but on the bounce. So they'll race through for 1. That moves the score along to 266 for 9. Hamza has a couple. Abbas is 1. Yeah, there'll be 2. If they got it in this over, 2 for the changeover, which would leave 11. The cliched awkward little period before stumps. But in saying that, we were talking to Aaron Finch the other night, and his attitude is, much as it was for Verinda Sehwag, that's the best time to bat before stumps. People are tired, and you can get a chance to get off to a nice start. So we'll see how Aaron Finch approaches that.
Yep, I like that attitude from Finchy.
Nathan Lyon, 3 men around the bat now to Abbas. He's defending out to cover, no run.
Yeah, well, Nathan Lyon has he bowled this end? His wickets are at the other end.
Yes.
And that's where I think most of the turn has been. But, mind you, Labuschagne has been turning it from this commentary box end.
Yeah, the southern end. Lyon bowls here, 3 round bat, reverse sweep.
Jeez.
Reverse sweep from Mohamed Abbas. Okay then, he gets a couple. Don't see that very often from bowlers who aren't particularly known for their batting.
Yeah.
The score moves to 268 for 9. We're a couple of balls to go in the 77th over. Mickey Arthur on the balcony having a laugh about that. Hasn't had a lot to laugh about today, but here we are. Had 2 of his batsmen dismissed on 94. Lyon goes again. Delivers. Abbas beaten outside the off stump from the straight one. Right on top here, Lyon.
Yeah, outside the off stump, that one. Not really turning, just holding its line. Just seems to be more spin for the leg spinner, doesn't it?
I wonder which end...
It always is, the wrist spinners get more on it, more revs on it.
Yeah, I do wonder which end he'll bowl from yesterday. We'll come back to that after this delivery, because there's a bit of a difference at either end, isn't there? Lion bowls, Abbas defends. So from the end that Lion's bowling from, that's the end of the over, I should say. 77 gone in the innings. Pakistan 268 for 9. Abbas is 3. Hamza is 2. Adam Collins and Brendan Julian with you on wisdom.com. With the ends, you can see from the southern end, so the broadcast end, there is more grass at the end he's bowling to compared to the end that he was bowling from. So you
can notice that out in the middle. When I went out to the pitch report today, there's a definite line around about the 6 foot mark down the pitch where it's a square that's just been definitely shaved a bit more. So if you're Yasir, do you want the end that has more bounce or the one with more turn early on, I wonder? Well, he knows more than anyone. I mean, he's played at this ground before. He'll have a nice feel where he's taken wickets, so he'll have a favoured end. I would have thought that he would bowl from the end to which Nathan Lyon got 4 wickets, all his wickets today, which is the end now. Labuschagne has come on. So Labuschagne's getting the chance to close out the job here. So Mitchell Marsh gets on, gets a wicket, takes it straight off. I don't get that, because they did that earlier today. Labuschagne came and bowled one over, and then he walked off and bowled the other end. He did. And then now Lyon's come back on and he's chucked him on the other end. Yeah, Marsh has bowled from both ends. It's the second one over. So do you reckon he's gone to Nathan Lyon and gone, which end do you want? Labuschagne, 3 men out on the leg side. Hamza defends. Now it's a backward point. There's a handful of players who've made taken more wickets and runs in Test cricket, which we've seen on the screen here. Chandrasekhar, Chris Martin, Bruce Reid. Oh, Chucky, is Reedy in there? Oh, that was only a guess. 113 wickets, 93 runs for Bruce Reid. Labuschagne bowls here. Hamza defends. Carl Rackerman must have made more runs than wickets. And Glenn McGrath was close. In Test matches, he took 563 wickets and 641 runs across a pretty long journey there. He got like 60, didn't he, against the Kiwis? It was a half century there. 2 men around the bat. Labuschagne bowls. Hamza defends into the leg side, no run. Why has he got a deep mid on and deep mid wicket and deep fine leg? It's a fair question, isn't it? Bowling to the number 11, who they would have done the research. I know this bloke can't bat, and to think that Labuschagne isn't. Well, obviously they've got the research going. Yeah, he can't bat, but man, he smokes it through the leg side. Labuschagne to Hamza. That's on leg stump. Oh, good take there from Travis Head in its short leg. One-handed pick up on the bounce, so no run was taken. 3 out on the leg side. Yeah. Oh, man. As we said before, it has been a feature throughout this series so far. They do like keeping them out. Labuschagne over the wicket. Oh, yeah, got it. Coming forward, it look like Bash slogging one through the leg side. Has not even looked like it. Why not give him an opportunity to try it? Yeah, encourage him. Big top edge, through the gate, leg before. Labuschagne certainly targets those stumps. He's got 1 ball to go in this over. He delivers here. Hamza. Oh, nearly ends up at short leg. It's just fine of that. So he'll keep the strike with a single. Hamza is 3. Abbas is also 3. The end of the 78th over, Pakistan at 269 for 9. This final session brought to you by Budgie Smuggler, swimwear made with love in Australia. And I'm going to leave you with love, VJ, and you can talk to Jeff. Thanks, buddy. 269 Pakistan. A recovery, really, after lunch. Middle session was all Pakistan, but they'll be disappointed, I suppose. Sarfaraz Ahmed not getting to his 100. Some good bowling from Australia and counter-attack back. But for Australia, they need to wrap it up. And probably, if they get into bat, none down will be the obvious move. Nathan Lyon to start a new over, bowling to Mir Hamza, defending well enough back down the wicket. And just a bit of a wasted opportunity for Pakistan. 2 batsmen out for 94. Yep. Sarfaraz looked exhausted and understandable. Yeah, it was sort of a lapse in concentration, wasn't it? Well, I think he just looked spent. He'd had the ball before he was dismissed as Lyon bowls, and Hamza does try the big shot through the leg side. He'll just get a leg by, I suspect, away behind square leg. Came off the pad, 270 for 9. You saw Sarfaraz get a big outside edge to 1 and then nearly had a mix-up with the running because Yasir wanted to come back at 3 and Sarfaraz was telling him off, saying, as if I'm going to run a 3rd run, I'm spent. Just look at me, I've got a broken arm. Yeah, and then the next ball tried to slog one over cover and Siddle did his
beachside marina trick and managed to haul it in. Nathan Lyon bowling nicely to Mohamed Abbas, the right-hander, on the off stump, blocked back down the wicket.
He's got 2 out on the leg side for the big slog sweep.
Well, he's only played the reverse so far, Mohamed Abbas, as far as unlikely big shots go. Toying with the idea of a new ball, the umpires will become available soon as Abbas defends.
Lovely here, Gary.
9 balls left. Wouldn't bother taking the new ball just to get a number 11 out, would you? Waste the ball.
Well, you know, they're not paying for it, are they? It's not going to bother them.
Just think in these environmental times we should be looking to sustainability, surely. Big slog here from Mohamed Abbas, who wants to spare Australia the trouble, but he's made too good a connection and he's hit that for 6 over long on. That's a muscular and uncomplicated hit, nice and straight.
Good strike, good swing of the bat. That might encourage a new ball to come out though.
Yeah, that might have just settled the issue if there was any concern about it. Just cleared the front leg a bit and a simple swing through down to our commentary end of the ground. Well into the seats, that went about 20 rows back, so very nice connection. Nathan Lyon tries again. Mohamed Abbas defends back down the pitch. Pretty well played. End of the 79th over, 276 for 9.
Yeah, 276. What do you think, Pakistan? You think that's not their day, but pretty good, given the fact where they were?
Well, certainly given where they were, they could have been rolled for 150. So if these two could nudge it up towards 300, then I think they'd be pretty satisfied with their work. And you never know, 300 might be a good score, given there's a bit more in the wicket than you might expect here.
Well, especially if they get one tonight, Pakistan. They'll take that on the day's play, I would have thought.
Well, they can just play on Australian nerves, because if a wicket does go down for Australia, then things could happen pretty briskly. Mind you, one more still needs to go down for Pakistan, and we could still have a century stand for the last wicket. You never know. Mir Hamza hasn't given much to imply that might happen, and his record to date does not necessarily lend itself to the hypothesis, but he's going to try against Marnus Labuschagne and plays that pretty nicely, coming across his front pad to direct the straight ball away to short mid-wicket.
Yeah, which has been a fraction short, Marnus. Probably getting a little bit tired. He's bowled 11 overs so far, just a bit more flight, a bit fuller.
Over the wicket to the left-hander, driving it back to the bowler on the bounce. 3 for 43 in his 12th over, Marnus Labuschagne.
I think they're going to take the new rock, and Stark will be the man. What do you reckon?
I think he should be. He looked pretty spent earlier as well, it must be said. Off the back foot, too short again.
It's actually a bit cooler here, isn't it? Don't you reckon, in Abu Dhabi compared to Dubai?
There's definitely a breeze across the ground. The open nature of the ground helps that, and it is a bit cooler. That said, it's still probably 34 rather than 38.
Yeah,
so
cool.
It's still very warm out there. Full toss, and Hamza's able to just glance that away towards fine leg comfortably for his 4th run. So he's got to get up to 6 or 7, his first class average. He's got 4 of them already, 277 for 9.
Getting a bit tired, Marnus. 3 for 44 though. God, he need 12th over, that's pretty good, I'll take that.
Well, his first class bowling, without the tests included, 12 wickets at 58. Test bowling, 5 wickets at 16.
Just hold it there.
Only play him at this level. Only bowls in Test cricket. Here he comes again, short again, and chopped away by Abbas easily. So Labuschagne dragging them all down in this over.
Yep, getting tired. I think Tim Payne is looking at that, thinking, you know what, I've got to make a change here. New ball, keep Nathan Lyon on, or bring Mitchell Stark. But you've got to wrap it up. That's what you've got to be thinking. You just can't afford to let it meander. You've got to make the running on it.
1 ball to come in Australia's first 80 overs before the new ball is due. Labuschagne pitches it up full. That's the length he wants, and nicely defended by Mir Hamza, who's done his bit so far. He's acquitted himself reasonably well as a number 11 on debut without much of a record to back him up. 278 for 9 after 80 overs. You're on Wisden.com Test Match Cricket. Jeff Lemon and Brendan Julian with you, and this session brought to you by Budgie Smuggler, swimwear made with love in Australia.
And the umpire, or the third umpire, is just smuggling the ball back out to the middle.
Thankfully not in the swimwear, but in his hand. Don't want to ruin the varnish.
That's right.
On the new nut, as it were. But the Australians will take it. to try to dislodge this last wicket.
They are, immediately. They're not worried about the costs or the environmental impact on it all.
I suppose it can always go into the briefcase of replacement balls as, say, a 3 delivery old ball if they need to swap one out early in an innings.
Or just bring it out tomorrow in the warm-ups.
Umpire Illingworth signals to the scorers. A new ball will be taken. Peter Siddle's looking at it, but Mitchell Starc will bowl with it. The 2 quicks.
Hasn't been on his game, has he, Mitchell Starc, today? He's been a little bit wayward, probably hasn't found his rhythm.
Just after that first spell, I thought he bowled well in the first spell with some good lift, but yeah, he's been pretty wide of the stumps.
Yeah, for him, for his standard I'm talking about. I mean, I'd be very happy with that. Wayward deliveries, that's fine. First spell 5 overs.
Keeps him guessing.
Yeah, 1 for 18, second spell 3 overs, third spell 3 overs. So he hasn't had a big day, hasn't had a big workload. We've had a reasonable break in between the first and the second test match.
Yeah, they've both taken a bit of... He'll be looking forward to his opportunity to bowl out here. Be very interested to see the ball, but doesn't nick it. Yeah, Matt Boucher runs the gig out here, and seems like it's quite a unique one in terms of its challenges, running a cricket ground in a desert.
Tell you what, the facilities look great there, don't they?
Oh, perfect.
I mean, you've got the
Absolutely
second ground adjacent, and then you've got the football field over.
They've got 5 football fields here, and 2 reserve cricket grounds. And sometimes in the heat, in the hot months, they have to play during the middle of the night, sort of from about 11 p.m. till sunrise, especially when it's Ramadan and there's fasting involved. So, fascinating place in terms of cricket. Full delivery from Starc on the leg stump, defended by Abbas. It's one of the great joys of our line of work, is travelling around the world and finding how things operate in.
Oh, yeah, and I've never been here before. I mean, I've been to Dubai before, I've never been out this way, Abu Dhabi, about an hour and a half down the road on the freeway.
This idiosyncratic cluster of Emirati principalities, or however they're defined, that form the UAE.
Kingdoms, the 7 kingdoms.
It all sounds very much like a fantasy novel, doesn't it? The 7 kingdoms unite. Mitchell Starc, back of a length, outside off, just leaning away. Abbas is happy to see that go through to the keeper.
And I think the Australian batsman will look back on today and go, you know what, it's a pitch that you can get into.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, it hasn't flown through it. I don't think it's turned square. It's been a little bit slow. So I would be thinking that Usman Khawaja and Aaron Finch probably be thinking, you know, you get yourself set, might be a little bit slow, fraction 2 pace, but no demons in this pitch.
Well, certainly the tail enders have looked pretty comfortable. Yasir Shah just hitting through the line of the ball. Mohammad Abbas defending confidently enough. Awaiting Starc now. Well down the leg side. It beats Tim Payne as well and will go for byes. Yep. 4 extras added to the score.
That was hard. I reckon that was 4 wides down the leg side. I think that was a tough call on Tim Payne. I think it's happened to him twice today, where it's been a wayward delivery from Mitchell Starc, and that was just way down the leg side. And I reckon he's been pretty unlucky there. I don't know if Mitch Starc got his foot caught or didn't quite get it right, but it was a wayward delivery, uncharacteristic like from Mitchell Starc, but we've seen a few of them today, and that just gives you an indication that he just doesn't have his rhythm quite set.
282 for 9 with those extras. The dilemma for the wicket-keeper captain, you don't want it to be given wides because that's another extra and they get another delivery. But byes go against you, of course, and that's gone against Mohammad Abbas. Straight through him, and he's bowled. Mitchell Starc wraps up the innings with a full Yorker, clatters into the base of middle stump, and he has cleaned things up. 282 is Pakistan's score after winning the toss this morning and electing to bat. They've faced 81 overs, and Mitchell Starc has finished things off in exactly the fashion you usually expect from the left arm quick. The umpires have checked the front foot. It all looks fine. And that was just a nice little curling delivery, in swing into the right-hander, and crunch, middle stump rocks back as Brendan Julian's made way and Adam Collins has popped in. G'day.
That was old school, wasn't it? Mitchell Starc bending back the stumps to the tail ender. Just what it says on the tin when you think about Mitchell Starc. He's the guy that hits the stumps late. Mohammad Abbas did a pretty good job to make it the double figures all told, and in a way maybe Pakistan did well to reach 282 after being 57 for 5 in the first innings, in the first session rather. But in saying that, on the lead up to the tea interval, they were rocking along very nicely with 2 set men, and it was Labuschagne who made that second incision, if you like, putting them 6 down, and then they drove a truck through it in the final session to finish the job inside 81 overs. Fantastic work from the Australians.
A tale of two spinners, really, for Australia on the first day. Lyon early in the day, Labuschagne later. So bowled Pakistan out for 282, and they would be absolutely cock-a-hoop with that. They'd be a bit disappointed about that one big partnership that got things away. They would have liked to keep Pakistan to 200 after having them 5 for 57, but if you'd offered them this at the start of the day, they would absolutely have taken it. The average first innings score here, well over 400. So a brilliant achievement for Australia to bowl Pakistan out for 282. Nathan Lyon leads the team off the field. He's gone fourth on Australia's all-time wicket takers list. He's up to 314, behind only Lilly, Warne and McGrath in terms of wickets in Test cricket by Australian bowlers. And he's rightly allowed to lead his team off as the bowlers get off for a brief break. And Australia's batsmen will prepare to come out and face the Inquisition. Yeah, it's a remarkable story, Nathan Lyon. You go back to the very start. We mentioned it before on the call when he went through that barrier of 311 to break one record, then 313 another, then 314 another. Went up a couple of pegs today. You know, the curator at Manuka, he was captaining a club side in Canberra, made the move to Adelaide on spec. It was in order to be the groundsman, or on the ground staff rather, at Adelaide Oval. Not really about his cricket. It was about his day job, if you like. And then we all know what happened after that, into what was then the South Australian T20 side before the days of Big Bash. On the TV stage, he managed to impress sufficiently enough to get himself on an Australia A tour. Next thing you know, he's debuting for Australia at Test match level in Sri Lanka, a wicket first ball of his career. But you park all of that. The next couple of years weren't always smooth sailing. There were more days when he was questioned than days when he was lauded, and that more like the next 5 years, I reckon.
Yeah, but especially the first couple, when he was dropped in that India series in 2013 and didn't play the first two Test matches of the 2013 Ashes series. It could have very well ended up the case that Nathan Lyon was one of those shooting stars that faded away from public consciousness, but instead he found a way to make himself a durable enough bowler and a resourceful enough operator to survive and subsist and prevail in all sorts of conditions. He's went through the 100 wicket barrier back in that 13-14 Ashes series, went through 200 a couple of years ago, 300 last summer. Actually, it was in Cape Town, sadly enough, that it wasn't able to really be celebrated, but I'm sure he'll be celebrated tomorrow as number 4 on the all-time wicket takers list. It's a remarkable achievement. As he should be. Let me run you through what happened in the innings. Pakistan winning the toss this morning, electing to bat. Mohammad Hafiz, the first man out. He was caught at short leg by Labuschagne, a reflex catch that bounced off a few bits of the anatomy and ended up clutched to his chest with the catcher's knees. Pakistan were 5 for 1. They went on to 57 for 1 before the carnage started. Azhar Ali caught and bowled Lyon for 15, was 57 for 2. Third wicket went down when Haris Sohail was caught head at bat pad on the offside. Bowled Lyon for a first ball duck off the splice. Asad Shafiq in Lyon's next over was caught by Labuschagne, a little inside edge which was proved on the DRS. He made a second ball duck, and then Babar Azam charged Lyon and tried to slog him over mid-on and was bowled for another duck. So it went from 57 for 1 to 57 for 5. 4 wickets going down for none, and then a brilliant partnership really between Fakhar Zaman and Sarfraz Ahmed. They put on 147 together, batted through until lunch, and then batted almost through until tea. Very busy, counter-attacking, and just on the verge of the tea break in the last over, Fakhar Zaman was trapped LBW by Labuschagne for 94. After that, in the final session, Bilal Asif caught behind from Labuschagne for 12. Sarfraz Ahmed caught Siddle, bowled Labuschagne for 94, trying to slog over cover. Yasir Shah hit a lovely straight 6, but was eventually bowled by Mitchell Marsh for 28. And then Mohammad Abbas, the last to fall, bowled by Stark for 10. And so, 282 Pakistan score after winning the toss and electing to bat this morning. Basit Khan has rejoined me, and what do you make of all that we've seen so far today?
Well, we've seen a lot of spin and bounce in that first session, then it sort of quieted down a little, but a pitch where once you get in, you have to really make it count. Because again, like the UAE, wickets always sort of inevitably fall in a cluster, and that's exactly what happened to Pakistan with that mini collapse, and then fantastic innings. I think Sarfraz's innings actually made sure that Pakistan didn't just fold away, and 282 they got, but considering the spin that is on offer, considering the little bit of help for the bowlers, I think it's not the same Abu Dhabi wicket which you associate first inning scores of over 400 or even 500. So it'll be interesting how Australia go about batting, and only after they've batted we'll actually know how good or how bad this pitch is for batting. But it's shown that it's difficult, in the sense that it's difficult to get started on, but once you get used to it, it's some way that you can still get a lot of runs.
Well, it's offered quite a few things that we've seen so far today. It's offered some bounce with the new ball. It's offered a bit of turn for the spinners even on day one. It's offered conventional swing. It's offered seam movement, and it's offered a reverse swing. So we've seen each of those 5 things at times, not consistently throughout, but there have been periods where the bowlers have been able to use their tricks to put some pressure on the batting side.
There has been spin and bounce. Obviously, that's the one thing that Pakistan will look to straight away is how Yasir Shah would bowl on this track. We saw Labuschagne get a lot of spin with his leg spin, his wrist spin, and Yasir Shah would be eyeing that. Also, it'd be interesting how Abbas bowls. Abbas did bowl well with the new ball in Dubai, and he did get reverse swing. I don't think he'll get as much reverse swing as he did in Dubai, but there's still a little bit of assistance on offer. These 7 overs which Australia will face will be tricky, and Pakistan will certainly apply the pressure. But I think that 280 is not as bad a score as you would normally associate with Abu Dhabi in that first innings. It's a different kind of pitch, really.
Well, it could be a very competitive score if Pakistan can get off to a good start. They're in a huddle down there below us, below our commentary position now, chatting to each other. Couple of things that I'm fascinated to see. One, how Mohammad Abbas goes, because he's such an operator with any conditions that are even vaguely in his favour. 2, Mir Hamza, the left armour, he's taken a prodigious amount of wickets at first class level, but that might be on some pitches that offer much more favourable conditions than what he'll see here. And then of course the Pakistan spin attack. So that's what I'm going to be keeping my eye on. Adam Collins is going to jump in and call the first ball of the Australian reply. And Aaron Finch and Usman Khawaja, after their heroics in Dubai, both played so well. We'll see where this new partnership can take Australian cricket. Bazid Khan with you, Jeff Lemon departing. You're on Wisdom.com. Test match cricket, and this session brought to you by Budgie Smuggler. Australian made. There's not much actually made in Australia anymore, so it's great to see a brand supporting local manufacturing. Socks, swimwear and underwear, keep them in mind for Christmas. It's coming up.
Yeah, this will be a tricky little session, but the form men have to fire. Finch and Khawaja. Khawaja obviously with that brilliant test match, and Finch, who batted extremely well in Dubai, they'll have to take it on again, and they'll have to make sure that Australia get into a position where they can get into ascendancy, because these two basically after that Dubai test match will go into this test match with form, and also on a tricky little pitch where the ball is spinning. They are the best equipped to actually handle that, which because of the form and because of the game plans they showed us in Dubai.
Bazid Khan, there'll be 7 overs scheduled between now and the close, so we'll work our way into the final half an hour, but they'll get all the overs in. I'm especially looking forward to seeing, and he'll bowl the second over, I'm sure, Mir Hamza. He's a man with a remarkable first-class record. It's hard to imagine someone that's taken so many wickets at such a low cost, fewer than 17 apiece. But now it's Mohammad Abbas, 3 slips in the gully, bowling the first ball of Australia's reply to Usman Khawaja, who pushes out to mid-wicket, no run.
And again, the openers need to. It's the most difficult job in cricket as a batsman to be opening the innings. Now they fielded for a good 80 overs, and you come out and you put your pads in and you're in again, and you have to be on top of your game to get through this little session. The concentration levels have to be right up there, and thank God for Usman Khawaja's fitness regime. It's 7 kilos that he dropped.
Here he is, facing up to Mohammad Abbas, running towards us from the northern end, leaving outside the off stump. Interesting that Abbas has 3 slips in the gully. We saw Mitchell Starc start with 3 slips in the gully for about 4 deliveries, and then the field spread, and before we knew it, there were sweepers everywhere. But Abbas, who has 49 test wickets so far, and this is his 10th test match, if he claims his 50th in this test, which he surely will, he will become equal second fastest Pakistani to that mark. behind Yassi Shah, who did it in 9. Abbas over the wicket. Australia yet to score in their reply. Khawaja again able to leave well outside the off stump. If you're just joining the call on wisdom.com, Pakistan were knocked over for 282 after winning the toss this morning. The expectation is they would win the toss and bat some more, but instead Nathan Lyon took 4 wickets in a hurry with the score on 57. Marnus Labuschagne picked up 3 either side of the tea interval this afternoon. A couple from Mitchell Starc to bookend the innings, 1 for Mitchell Marsh as well. They did very nicely indeed, which gives them a chance to start eating into this Pakistan first innings. Khawaja tries to get them underway with a push to cover, but can't beat the man at point here.
It was interesting in the morning, I was listening to an interview with Khawaja, and obviously he's Pakistani descent. He's actually born in Pakistan, born in Islamabad, and he was telling us about how his mother cooks traditional Pakistani food, and traditional Pakistani food involves quite a lot of oil, and sometimes it can be pretty heavy. And to couple that,
Mohammad Abbas, his next delivery here to Khawaja, outside edge, it bounces just in front of the man at third slip, but nice soft hands ensures no trouble for the opener.
And he said he loves his biryani and he loves his parathas. Parathas are deadly because they're laden with oil. And I thought, well, he loves that, but he's still so fit and still lost 7 kg. He's exaggerating his love for parathas and biryani. It's just not possible.
Well, I've got to say, Bazard, one of the great joys of being on the cricket circuit is being able to tuck into the food whenever we're in the subcontinent or in Asia, full stop. Mohammad Abbas, defended by Khawaja, back to the bowler, no run. We briefly lost our effects mic, which has just come back for the last ball of the over. It was a maiden. Australia, in reply to Pakistan's 282, are yet to score. None for none. Khawaja and Finch, the 2 Australians, opening the batting. And now we're going to see Mir Hamza. Now, how is it possible, Basil? You've got to tell us. How can a man who's taken 270-odd first-class wickets at 17 only debuting now?
Yeah, but it's completely different to what he will have experienced in first-class cricket. We play with a different ball. We play with a ball with a very proud seam.
Right.
And also we play on pitches which offer a lot to medium pace. He's got about, 25, 26 fifers. That's ridiculous. That's under 17. Obviously, whatever pitches you play on, that record speaks for itself, but he's regarded as one of the best new ball bowlers in Pakistan. So we'll wait and see how he gets this new ball on this pitch talking.
His first ball in international cricket, the left arm quick Mir Hamza, is defended by Aaron Finch. So 26 years of age, left arm, cleanly shaven, looks the part.
And the thing is that all those games, 26 fifers and an average of 17.74, strike rate of just 39 balls per wicket. But it'll be interesting because he's bowling with the Kookaburra. I don't think he's bowled very much with the Kookaburra. He's bowled with a hard-head, locally made ball or Duke ball in Pakistan. So it'll be interesting how he goes about things.
He's over the wicket, Hamza. Bowls here to Finch, who takes him through point. A nice square drive for what I imagine will be a couple, and it is. Finch gets Australia's reply underway with that 2. Australia 2 without loss. The deficit 280.
Yeah, just searching for that ball to come back into the right-hander so far. But obviously his first over, that heart will be pounding, he'll be nervous. Just get this over out of the way and then get into a groove of bowling with that new ball.
Hamza on his approach, running away from us at the southern or broadcast end to Aaron Finch. 2 slips in the gully, pushes to mid-wicket, no run there. You opened the batting a bit in your professional career, Bazard. What sort of approach did you take to walking out, 7 overs to go, roughly half an hour? Do you take the Verinder Sehwag approach, which we were talking to Aaron Finch about the other night, score the runs while the cricketers are tired and have a crack, or do you shut up shop and just try and get to tomorrow?
The one thing that I found was if you've been in the field for so long and then gone out to bat, it takes the edge off a little. You're not as nervous as walking in at the very.
As Hamza bowls, Finch down the leg side, he manages to get a little bit on it to find leg. There'll be 1 there. They'll come back for a second. That's really good running from the Australians. direct hit, but Finch is comfortably home. I'm sure that umpire Ravi will go upstairs, as is the convention these days, whenever there's a direct hit, but there's no concerns there. Finch turned and sprinted back to the other end and made it home by at least a few feet, you'd think, in the old money. We'll see on the replay, I'm sure.
A direct hit, but yeah, he
nearly passed the second line. Indeed, he just passes the second line where the stumps are in line with. So, no concerns for Finch. 4 without loss, Australia. A couple of 2s for Finch this over. Hamza on his way and bowls again. Aaron Finch pushes through to square leg. Can't beat the fielder there. Good stop. Dot ball. So yes, so the edge is less pronounced when you come out.
Yeah, you feel it all there. I think the tension's gone down a little, and you come out and you probably just see the ball and react to that. But the other, obviously, it's a very, very difficult job. But the other good part of opening the batting is that you don't have to wait around. You know when you're going to bat. You don't have to sit with your pads. I think that is the most difficult part, just sitting around waiting to bat.
Last ball of Hamza's first over. It's full. Finch is defending once more. So 4 runs coming from it. He's got the nervous energy out of the way. All those runs coming to Aaron Finch. 4 for none. Australia's score after 2 overs in pursuit of Pakistan's first innings tally of 282. Adam Collins and Bazid Khan with you on the call. This final session brought to you by Budgie Smuggler. You'll see them in a lot of dressing rooms of professional sporting teams all around the world, including the Australians, maybe a couple of the Pakistanis as well, wearing the Budgie Smugglers underneath the cricket whites. If there's not, we'll get them a pair, or 11. And of course our premier commercial partner, Specsavers, have been with us from the start. The test experts. Go and get yourself an eye test tomorrow. Mohammad Abbas starting a new over, bowling to Khawaja, who defends back to the bowler, no run.
So talk me through those 2 reviews that Australia took, those big inside edges. It's almost like watching Pakistan take reviews. It was so bad.
Well, I can tell you why there were 2 reviews burnt today. It's for the same reason that 3 wickets were taken and 2 excellent catches in short. Marnus Labuschagne. He's an excitable young man, and we heard through the stump mic, he say, "That's definitely out," the Peter Siddle one, which inspired the first review, which was not even close to being out. As Abbas approaches and bowls to Khawaja over the wicket, soft hands to cover, 1 on offer, takes a quick single, Finch to the danger end, makes it comfortably, good running. So Khawaja is off the mark with that one, Australia 5 for no loss. And the second one, when Labuschagne was bowling, by the time he completed his appeal, he was pretty much standing on the batsman's stumps. He was that keen on it, and that was an inside edge too. So I wonder whether, in the same way that, say for instance, Joe Root doesn't take advice from Stuart Broad about reviews for fairly obvious reasons, whether it might be the case that Tim Payne...
so this was the last time that he called a review.
Yeah, I don't think Marnus Labuschagne is... Yes, we said before, he's not the most reliable narrator.
But also talk me through this. He took he took that brilliant catch at short leg, and then took another one, and then in the outfield he dropped a sitter.
He did. Abbas bowls here. Big shout for leg before. Aaron Finch pinned to the crease. There's no review. Suggests that's hitting outside the line, but a bit of movement early for the Pakistan number 1.
Yeah, and a bit of movement and a little bit of bounce as well. That came back in, seamed back in. New ball is always going to hit that seam because he gets it bolt upright, and whenever there's a little bit of seam movement, he'll get that because he hits the seam more often than not. And the bounce, I reckon that was going over. It's almost sort of hit his thigh pad with that bounce. So definitely the new ball especially carries through here in Abu Dhabi on this pitch.
Yeah, fairway over the top there. From our vantage point, watching from the far end, picking up the trajectory of the ball is not always the easiest, but certainly on height that was travelling.
Quite far away, aren't we?
Yes, our colleague on the cricket writing beat, Mike Selvey, who's been covering Test cricket for the better part of 30 years, says there's not a ground in the world where you're further away from the action where you cover it. But that's okay. We're privileged to be here. We're thrilled to be here for Wisdom.com.
Short leg in place.
Yes, there is rather. So 2 slips to gully and a short leg. Mohammad Abbas asking the right kind of questions early here. On the way to Finch, he bowls. Finch pushing through mid-wicket. No, mate, is the call to Usman Khawaja.
He's almost bowling that, well, like Siddle, who was getting the ball to nip back in. He'll do the same, but because Abbas at the moment is in great bowling form. He's getting the ball to land on the seam more often than not, and the length and the line is good. So if there's a little bit of nibble, he's always in the game.
Can he find a way through the defence of Aaron Finch? Abbas bowls. Finch clipping off his pads, nice and fine, and gets a boundary for it. So they had a fine leg in place. Hams are racing around there, but Finch, off the face of the bat, it raced away beneath us here, and that's his 8th run, his first boundary of the innings. Finch is 8, Australia 9 for no loss.
And just as I talk Abbas up, he slips it down the leg side slightly, ever so slightly, but enough. Nice little deflection and raced away. The new ball skidding off the surface and off the outfield and getting to the fence.
So Mohamed Abbas, last ball of his over to Aaron Finch. Finch defends the cover, knows the call. So 9 for none after 3 overs. Finch 8 of them. Khawaja has 1. Adam Collins and Bazid Khan with you on the Wisdom.com commentary. Budgie Smuggler, swimwear made with love in Australia. They've been our 3rd session sponsor on the call, and Specsavers, the test experts, have been with us throughout. Make sure you get yourself an eye test booked tomorrow morning. It's nearing midnight in Australia, so you might battle to do it now. On the east coast of Australia, I should add. They'll get angry in Perth for saying that. But when you wake up tomorrow, book yourself an eye test. It's crucial. And in the middle, after 1 over from Mir Hamza, he's been dragged. It's always nice to back your opening bowlers in. We're going to have Yasir Shah. We were debating with Brendan Julian before Bazard what end he'd bowl from. Do you think he's better suited here with the bounce he'll generate, or would you think that's a good shout nearing stumps?
I think this end will suit him also, because there's a little bit of grass cover as well, so he wants the ball to skid as well. He wants it to spin, but especially with this new ball, he wants it to skid at pace, and with that little bit of grass covering to that side where he's bowling into, he might just get assisted with that.
Yeah, so just to explain, there's more grass at the northern end of the track than there is the southern. So the fact that Yasir is bowling from the southern end means that he won't have these bare patches to aim at. There'll be grassier spots which he might be able to generate a little bit of lateral movement from. We will see. First ball of the 4th over, his first of the innings to Khawaja, who defends to the offside. Good start, nice and straight. He's bowling with a slip and a short leg as the catching men, and also a relatively short mid-wicket.
And Khawaja was brilliant against Yasir Shah in the way he had his plan sorted out, his game plan of sweeping and reverse sweeping. Right now, he'll just have to be careful because it's a very new ball.
Yasir Shah to Usman Khawaja, walking down and clipping through mid-wicket, easy as you like, takes the one on offer there. Australia into double figures, 10 for no loss. Khawaja's 2nd run.
Yeah, that's very nice, because he goes 1-2 and then places it to the leg side, and that's a better option right now because of the new ball. I think sweep right now would be a dangerous option, even for Finch. Finch has to make sure that he gets that left leg out of the way, because Yasir Shah will be honing in on that. He'll try to bowl that flipper or that straighter one, which just sort of skids on and doesn't spin, and tries to hit the pad.
So 2 slips here now, Bazard. 2 slips and a short leg. Yasir to Aaron Finch. He delivers on leg stump. He pushes the mid-wicket. Quick single. So assertive running from Aaron Finch so far in the innings. He moves to double figures, I think now, 9 or 10. I haven't got the scoreboard in front of me anymore. But in any case, Australia yet to lose a wicket. We have 3 overs remaining today after this one. 11 for no loss. Khawaja on strike. Pushing down the ground, he goes, nice shot, beats the bowler in his follow-through, takes 1. So Khawaja more or less picking up from where he left off in Dubai. He's 3, Australia 12 without loss.
Yeah, it's a right-hander against the new ball of Yasir Shah. He likes bowling to the right-handers more than the left-handers, because he can get the ball to drift in, and again that will be the go-to delivery, and Finch has to watch out for it. Just try and play with his bat as much as possible.
Yasir Shah bowls to Aaron Finch, who defends. Elbow nice and high, bat equally as straight. 1 ball to come in Yasir Shah's first over. So he'll get the 4th and the 6th over, so 2 bites of the cherry tonight. Do you think we'll see Bilal before stumps?
I reckon he'd bowl 1 over if Abbas doesn't get a wicket.
Short leg goes to silly point for the last ball of the over. Aaron Finch, though, straight down the ground. 1 bounce, 2 bounce, into the rope. Stand and deliver stuff from the Australian opener. He moves to 13, Australia 16 without loss after 4 overs.
Uncomplicated stuff. You pitch in my zone, you're going. And it's been pitched up slightly, and he just smashed it down the ground, back where it came from. Aaron Finch backing his ability, backing his natural aggressiveness to play well, and that it takes courage, but once you stick to your game plan, it more often than not works. That's a fantastic shot.
Right out the middle of the bat. Fantastic batting from Aaron Finch. As I noted before, we spoke to Aaron the other night about the approach to coming out close to stumps, and he reflected on what Virender Sehwag said to him at some point during their journey about how it can often be easier to get a start nearing the close of play, and that's the approach he's taken here. 13 from 13 balls. His final session brought to you by Budgie Smuggler. They've got underwear and socks now available, an ideal gift for Christmas. Jump on the website. Budgie Smuggler, swimwear made with love in Australia. Mohammad Abbas, 3rd over, around the wicket to Khawaja. 2 slips in the gully. He bowls. Khawaja pushing to cover, waits the call. Can't beat the man stationed there, no run.
Yeah, change of angle to the left-hander, so he's got, well, a square leg in place, so he'll try and bowl pretty straight, but he'll also try and hit the seam, and once he hits the seam, he generally gets the ball to nip into a right-hander or away from Khawaja, the left-hander, so he'll try and work on that angle, try and nip the ball away from him from round the wicket.
Abbas in, bowls, Khawaja down the leg side, he's taken, and he's done on that. Judging by the reaction of the Pakistanis, they think they've got him. Umpire Ravi's not giving him out. He's telling them to cool their jets. He's going to consult umpire Richard Illingworth, one would imagine, to find out whether he believes it carried to Sarfraz's outstretched right glove. This will certainly go upstairs, judging by the response of the officials in the middle, and it will. The soft signal is out. So, there will need to be conclusive evidence that Khawaja has either missed the ball or it hasn't been pouched completely by Sarfraz Ahmed. Mohammad Abbas may very well have got the most important player in this Australian side, though, Usman Khawaja. Talk us through the first replay.
Yeah, strangled down the leg side. He just flicks it, and it's an awful way to go. It's a clean catch.
Well done.
Sarfraz takes a good catch down the leg side. He's had a terrific day. And this one diving down the leg side. Captains take the catch. Pakistan with a great wicket, albeit not the wicket style of wicket Abbas wanted, but they all count. Strangled down the leg side, and Usman Khawaja, who was brilliant in Dubai, he has to depart. And what a big wicket for Mohammad Abbas.
Usman Khawaja gone for 3. Australia lose their first wicket with the score on 16. That confirmed on the scoreboard. Off the face of the bat. A lovely take from the captain, Sarfraz, diving to his right. Will bid Bazid Khan farewell on that good news for Pakistan. Bad news for Australia, losing the man of the match from Dubai. They went upstairs to confirm, and it was certainly out. It's also Mohammad Abbas's 50th wicket in Test cricket, brought up in just his 10th Test match. As I welcome back Jeff Lemon for the last hurrah today. Jeff, we have some 2.4 overs left, and when all of the summarisers have done their work, I welcome you back to the box, and we have a little bit of a frolic when we're in the extra half hour.
That's right. This is when shots are played at the end of the day. Well, what a massive moment for Pakistan. Usman Khawaja defied them for 12 3/4 hours collectively in his 2 innings in Dubai, but it's been little more than half an hour here, and we've got a night watchman. And
it's Peter Siddle. It's not Nathan Lyon. Nathan Lyon, who's traditionally been the night watchman for the last 5 or 6 years in this Australian 11. Peter Siddle, who used to do the job quite regularly at the beginning of his Australian career, has walked out to the middle with a big smile on his face to join his Victorian teammate Aaron Finch. This won't concern Siddle in the slightest, I'm sure.
Well, they did talk about tweaking the batting order and whether Shaun Marsh was too high at 3, Mitchell Marsh at 4. So they've both been bumped down the order now. Peter Siddle, the new first drop for Australia.
So Peter Siddle has 4 balls to negotiate in this Mohammad Abbas over. Australia 16 for 1. Khawaja strangled down the leg side, if you like, for 3.
What a take! What a take from Sarpraz. He was exhausted when he finished batting. He was clearly out on his feet when he slogged one to Siddle at cover, but he's recovered enough to launch himself and complete that take down the leg side, one-handed, right hand outstretched.
Yeah, one of two men who made 94 earlier today, but the focus now on Peter Siddle. Abbas racing towards him and bowls, and Siddle compact in defence, out to cover, no run. Good start from the night watchman.
Interesting that they've sent a night watchman out with 5 overs to go till stumps.
No, there's not, because they only have to bowl the 7 as the minimum requirement due to the 2 with the changeover. So in 2.3 overs time they should be walking off, all things being equal, unless I've miscalculated. Because Pakistan batters, yeah, that's right, I'm confirmed by the producer here. So we lose 2 for the changeover. So we've got 7 all up this evening. 4.3 gone. Abbas on his way. Short leg now in place. Siddle defends and gets off the mark. Between backward point and gully, 2's the call. Siddle does his job and charges back to the danger end. He's off the mark. Australia are 18 for 1. So we're nearing the end. We'll get certainly one more over from Yasir Shah. And then after that, it's anyone's guess. But 2.3 overs to go on the day. Make that 2.2 overs to go on the day. On the way is Mohammad Abbas. 2 balls to go in this set. Delivers to Siddle, who defends out to cover. No run.
Comfortably off the mark the previous ball, Siddle. So happy to collect some runs. Might give him an opportunity if he can return tomorrow to see if he could harvest a little bounty, frustrate the Pakistanis in the morning.
So Mohammad Abbas moves to 50 wickets in just 10 test matches, or at the start of his 10th test match I should say. Only Yasir Shah, who did it in 9, has been faster for Pakistan. Waqar Younis, Shabir Ahmed, Mohammad Asif all did it in 10 as well. So joined some pretty handy bowlers there. Last ball from Abbas to Siddle, who defends. Not in control of the shot necessarily, but there'll be a single on offer to backward square leg. They look for 2. I'm not sure whether that should be front of mind when they're trying to give Siddle as much strike as possible. All the same, two runs are completed. Australia 20 for 1. The end of a successful Mohammad Abbas over. Finch 13, Siddle 4. We have 2 overs remaining on day 1 here at Sheikh Zayed Stadium in Abu Dhabi. Adam Collins and Jeff Lemon with you on the Wisden.com call. This third session brought to you by Budgie Smuggler. Swimwear made with love in Australia. They've got underwear and socks now, Jeff, an ideal gift for Christmas. Get on it.
Yeah, it was an interesting moment when Andrew Donaldson was scrolling their product line before, and a couple of people